Good morning, guys. So I made a post today which wasn't quite politically correct, so my apologies. I said that India banned Bitcoin but embraces blockchain. They go hand in hand. So yeah, I mean this statement is interpreted wrong. I interpreted it wrong. I got it from publications that I read, and this is the exact headline that they actually said, and I used that, and I was actually corrected here, saying that people are misinterpreting the announcement that Bitcoin is banned, and the interpretation was wrong. That is I apologize on the interpretation that I got the interpretation wrong. Bitcoin prices drop as media misinterprets government regulation speech, but I think the rest of it is pretty much black and white, right? Bitcoin is not illegal. Here it is here. Cryptocurrencies, oh, this is one guy saying it, is not illegal. It's just it's just not a legal tender. It's illegal for illegal activities, but the media misinterpreted the statement, which is also I misinterpreted the statement. So I can go back. Someone actually wrote it here. This is it here. Actually, hang on, let me find it. The exact words of Mr. Jale. He's the government minister or something. I don't know who he is, but anyway. The government does not consider cryptocurrencies as legal tender or coin, and it will take all measures to eliminate the use of these crypto assets in financing illegal activities or part of payment systems. Wrong interpretation. Bitcoin is what is legal. Correction of interpretation. Bitcoin cannot be used in legal tender. Bitcoin cannot be used for illegal activities. So yeah, I guess if you want to word it that way, but I mean, if you use it and then the law comes down on you and says that you use something illegally, isn't that the same thing? I don't know. They're not saying they're banning it outright, but if you use it, they will prosecute you. It's the same thing to me. But anyway, it's how you interpret it. But regardless of what it is, the damage is done, and the people are scared of Bitcoin. Now, it's not the only reason why Bitcoin has dropped. All right, it's now at under 8,000. It hasn't been like this since November. Let's go have a look at World Coin Index. Let's look at the last 6 months, and we'll just see exactly where the Bitcoin price was. So now it's dropped to 8,600. So let's go here. 8,700, 8,600 here. So if we look at where it was, so November the 25th, 2017, it was 8,787, and on December the 16th, December the 17th, it hit nearly $20,000. So now it's corrected, it's come back, but whatever the government says, it pretty much goes with the people that believe, the people that don't have financial literacy. They don't understand the banking system. They don't understand how banks work. These are your uneducated. These are mainly your labor force. People that work that are really the people that are really drive the economy, more or less, and they're the ones that have the least knowledge or education with about the financial system and how the banking system works. So the government, when the government says something, they believe it, right? And when the government says this statement about Bitcoin, there's what 1.4 billion people in India. They're going to obviously interpret it the wrong way, which they have, and it's going to have an effect because they'll sell their Bitcoin, panic sell, and it'll cause what's happened now. So the damage is done, and I reckon that the government has said this knowing that it's gonna cause panic. It's gonna people are gonna because the Bitcoin is a threat to them. They've said that if Bitcoin wasn't a threat to the banking system or to the banking central bank of India, then they wouldn't have said that they're going to try to stamp it out, right? But it is. It's a threat to their whole fiat system on how the whole banking system works in India. So they basically said they're not going to ban it, but they're not going to make it legal tender, and they're going to try to stamp out illegal activities of Bitcoin, and they're trying to stop it from being used in the financial system, right? So in other words, to me, that sounds like a ban to me, but without saying it's an actual ban, which is what they've actually done. So you can't really blame for people interpreting the wrong way. Fuck. Yeah, I got sound. Yeah, sorry guys. So yeah, I mean, this statement is done exactly what it's meant to do. It's supposed to have the effect, and it has the effect. With India being such a big country, with 1.4 billion people, this is what's happening, and it's when people sell and panic sell, this is what happens. It goes down. So we're back to November the 25th. All right. So now is a good time to buy, because this FUD will eventually go. All right, because Pandora's box is open. It's already open, right? Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, Ethereum, Neo, blockchain, fintech, all this emerging technology. It's just not going to disappear, right? It's not going to just disappear overnight. It's here to stay, and this is the future. Cryptocurrency, the banking system is redundant, and it's going to become to a point where it's just all going to be digital, right? There's not going to be no paper money. It's all going to be digital, and it's all just going to be like, whatever device that you have in your hand, whether that's on your person, or whatever it is, that's going to be your banking system, right? This is going to be your banking system here, right? This device, or whatever the next phase of technology is going to be, this is all going to be here, right? So there's going to be no bankings. There's not going to be no banks. This is all going to happen in the future. This is what I believe is going to happen in the future. So they can say this, and the people that are the least uneducated on it, that are brought up in the old ways, will believe it. But we all know that in the future, this is what it's going to be. So that's probably the biggest news so far about Bitcoin. Now, South Korea has also played a part in that. So you got South Korea, and you got now with India. So this is all sort of kind of marinated over the last 2 to 3 weeks, or pretty much January leading into February now, and that's why you've seen this all red. Everything's down. I mean, Bitcoin hit, like, it went up to 17,000 in January the 6th, and ever since then it's just been a decline. Okay, it's gone up, back up, but it's been a decline. So when will the market recover? When will Bitcoin recover? I have no idea. I'm not a technical analysis person, or an economist, or anything like that. So don't listen to me about when I think Bitcoin's going to come back. I have no clue, but I know that it will come back at some point, because there's a correction, and added with South Korea, and then now with India. This is going to be, I think this is going to keep on going down, and then once it hits, you know, rock bottom, like maybe 8,000. This is just me guessing. It might come back up, but I think we've still got a couple more weeks of this. So it's definitely been a grey month, or black month, or red month. But you know, it is what it is, guys. You know, it is what it is. NOFD on 1977. Hey, how's it going, mate? I haven't seen you for a while. Hey, bargain hunters. So yeah, it's all happening. It's just all this FUD is happening, and hey, David J, what's going on? You know, and the people that you know, the whales, or the people that you know, have got their money, have already cashed out or whatever, you know. So it's just it's just, you either believe in this stuff or you don't, you know. That's pretty much it. And the media is not helping, right? The media is not helping. So this is just the start of the year, I guess the beginning of the year of 2017, that it hasn't been a good start. It started off well. I mean, it hit like, you know, 20 grand, nearly 20 grand, but then it's been a decline ever since. Like, it hit 20 grand in mid-November, and at that point of mid-December, and at that point we thought, oh wow, it's going to be a massive year, and then it just went down. It's been going down ever since. Okay, so yeah, I mean, if you are in this space, you just got to you can't just look at it if you have to look at it long term, you know. That's just the way it is. You just have to look at long term. But the thing with the impact that it had an impact on everything. Certainly with altcoins, obviously, you know, when Bitcoin's down, everything's down, and then that's also had an impact on ICOs as well. In the sense that your Ethereum is gone down. You know what I mean? Your Ethereum's gone down, meaning that if it's based against Ether, if it goes up, then if it's based against fiat, that's bad, because Ethereum has gone down, right? You're spending Ethereum. With Ethereum up, yeah, it's good. It's good. But it hasn't slowed down, like, despite all this and despite everything's red, like, you know, ICOs are red, like, you know, ICOs that are bought are in the red. But it hasn't actually slowed down the buying of ICOs one bit. Honestly, it has not even affected, like, these ICOs are still selling out in minutes, in sometimes seconds. Hasn't slowed it down, the buying frenzy, one bit. All it's done is just drop the value in these in my portfolio. That's all it's done, because of fiat, right? Because of Bitcoin. But you know, once Bitcoin recovers again, everything's going to go back up again. So what you do is you don't sell. All right. You don't sell, and you just hold until Bitcoin goes up. You'll see everything else go green, and then, you know, you might want to sell some profit, whatever. All right, but that's pretty much it. The news. That's my understanding. There's other things at play as well, not just India. There's a lot of other things at play, and Bitcoin just doesn't just keep on going up, right? There has to be correction at some point, as we saw here. I mean, you know, it hit like 19,000, 19,500. It just doesn't keep on going all the way up. There has to be a correction. So you just have to be in the long haul. You know, you have to decide you're going to be here for the short term and the long term. And when you're heavily invested in cryptos like I am, I'm here for the long term. You know, you take the dips, you take the peaks. That's what it's about. Hey Rob, hey Lou from Vancouver. How you going, Michael from Kenya? No, they can't enforce it. Silly to look at other countries. that have tried to ban it. You know, this is exactly, Steve. I mean, you know, this is what they're trying to do. They because they're governments, you know, people believe them, and it'll work for a while, but then you know, people aren't stupid. They'll just once you see the price of Bitcoin going back up, like, it's just human nature, right? Once you see, like, you know, when Bitcoin was like, if you look at Bitcoin here at, you know, just this time when it was the same price, okay, you know, let's just say November, when Bitcoin was like, you know, 7,000. Remember when Bitcoin was only like 5,000? It wasn't long ago. I remember when Bitcoin was like 5,000, then it went to 7,000, and then all of a sudden just shot up to, like, you know, from here, if you look at November the 12th, it was like 6,000, right? And then all of a sudden, from November the 12th, from 6,000, it went to 19,000 in 1 month. Right? It went from $6,229 in November the 12th, and then it went to 19,500 in December the 18th. So within a month and 5 days, it went up 300%. It went from 6,200 to 19,400 within 1 month. That is a massive, huge increase. And then it's, you know, it's got to correct at some point. So this news and all this FUD, it's going to go away, because at this period in time, when it was like 6,200, right? And then it started going up, and then people, like, this is when you saw these big whales coming in, institutional investors. They started to get into Bitcoin, and the market cap got as high as like 850 billion. You know, and as it was going up, people were like, oh, okay, and then it just started going up and up and up and up, and then people were like, we need to get on this gravy train, right? So FOMO kicked in. You know, 6,000. It went to 6,000, so 6,200 on November the 10th. November the 11th, it was 6,300, and then it went to like 8,000, 9,900. You know, within the space of 10 days, within the space of 8 days. That's like $3,000 increase within the space of 8 days. So then this start here was like, oh wow, people were like FOMO kicking in big time, and then just so many people dumped money into Bitcoin, and it just went whoosh straight up. It went from 9,200 in November the 30th to 18,700 by December the 18th. So 18 days, it basically, like, it nearly doubled in 18 days. That is amazing. So this is what's going to happen, right? Once it goes down, now is a good time to buy. Or maybe I think it's going to go lower. I heard that it could go as low as 8,000 to 7,500 before it will start to go back up. But again, it's not financial advice. This is what I read, and so I think it's still going to go down. You know, maybe another $500 to $1,000, right? It hasn't reached its bottom yet, but then once it does and it goes back up again, right? People are going to start investing in again. And then you're going to see this FOMO is going to kick in. Same shit's going to happen, right? When people start making money and they see something going up, and this is what happened with newbie investors when they first got into Bitcoin. You know, we saw that Coinbase got absolutely smashed because newbies were coming through the Coinbase app. They could buy fiat, they could buy Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ripple, or I don't know if they got Dash, but through the Coinbase app, hook it up with their bank, and all of a sudden they could buy crypto. So they had that avenue to just newbie investors coming into it, and they saw this Bitcoin gravy train going up. They're like, oh damn, we need to get a piece of this. So it made the barrier of entry for newbies very simple to do, just an app. And Coinbase got absolutely smashed. They had hundreds and thousands of people joining per day to buy Bitcoin and Litecoin and Ethereum. So once this happens again, I think once this hits its bottom and then starts going back up again, people are going to go, okay, now it's at 10,000, maybe it's a good time to buy. And it's the same shit's going to happen, because when people start making money, you can't not stop them. Like, it's like all these programs, like all these scam lending programs, right? Everyone knows they're a scam, right? Everyone knows that BitConnect was a scam, but there was people that still invested in it, because you can't tell people, right? You can't tell people. You can tell people, hey, it's a scam, but they're not going to listen to you, because they're making money. They've never made this type of money before. Just like Bitcoin, right? It goes up. They've heard all the FUD about, China banning it, China banning exchanges, ICOs, South Korea now regulating exchanges. And now India's like, basically, they didn't say they're banning it, but I mean, they're pretty much, they're trying to stamp it out. That's basically what that interpretation is. They don't like it. They want to stamp it out, and they're scared of what Bitcoin is to their fiat central banking bullshit system, right? Just like every other fiat redundant, failing, destined to fail fiat system. Okay, so they're hanging on for dear life, and that's basically what's happening. You cannot stop when people start making money, and when Bitcoin goes back up. You cannot stop people. You can say, hey, this could be a bit of this could be risky. You could lose your money because Bitcoin could go back down again. But you cannot tell people. They will do it. Exactly what we saw in BitConnect, right? We saw educated people who had these people were six-figure earners. They're educated, university trained, blah 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 blah. You told them it was a scam, and they still went into it, right? You cannot tell people not to get into something if they see their eyes. You look into their eyes, and you can see nothing but dollar signs. They are blinded, and they will invest, right? So when Bitcoin starts to go back up again, you're going to see, in my opinion, you're going to see billions of dollars. Once Bitcoin gets to like 10, then it gets back to 11, 12, 13. Once it cracks 13 and then starts to get to 14 again, like, it's on the way up, in my opinion, right? And you're going to start seeing people go, oh, hang on a second, Bitcoin's coming back. It's back. It's time to jump on the gravy train again. This is their mindset, right? Let's jump on the Bitcoin gravy train. We can make some money. You cannot tell people, right? They're going to jump on it, and you're going to see billions of dollars come back into Bitcoin. And then you're going to see all of everything else, altcoins go up, okay? Because this FUD, this news, it's like news, right? The next day or the next week, it's old news, all right? No one wants to hear it anymore. So that old news now is like, that happened last week. We don't even remember that. So the government's like created this sense of, putting fear out there. But then news is like next week, it's gone. So give it in my opinion, just be patient, give it a few more weeks. The technology driving this stuff is not going away, my fat feathered fiendish friends. It is not going away. So if you understand the technology behind it, and you understand what's driving crypto, what blockchain is, what everything this is, don't see it as a money game. See it as real technology driving this stuff. And the problem is with these crypto currencies is these ICOs launch, and they have a really good up towards the ICO. They have a really good they put out news out there. They have these are all the sort of tricks that I've seen ICOs play. They're like, hey, we've just got XYZ to the advisory board. Oh, this is backed by Tim Draper. This is backed by Mark Cuban. Hello, every freaking ICO that Mark Cuban is backed has been a flop, right? So whenever people say, hey, this is backed by Mark Cuban, I'll be like, dude, do you even know the actual, do you know even, you just because he's Mark Cuban and he's a billionaire, yeah, he's had success in his life, but just because he joins an ICO, I don't join an ICO because of Mark Cuban is like endorsing it or he's on the advisory board. In fact, I shy away from it because I know his record in ICOs. It's shit. Mercury Protocol, that's like the ICO price, less than ICO price. And that was like the big one that was supposed to be, hey, you know, Mark Cuban's backed this. But I mean, it doesn't mean shit. The project itself has to be good, right? These advisors and big names are just cream on the top. They don't make it. But the people think that just because they're part of that ICO, they've got their name attached to it, that it's okay to invest. That's completely wrong thinking, assumption of it. But going back to what I said, so this news is going to go away. Bitcoin's going to be fine. It's going to recover. You know, Litecoin, Lightning Network is coming on. They've already testing the mainnet, or the you know, they're basically putting everything together, but they're still working on bits and pieces that still aren't right. So once we see that implemented, you're going to see, well, you should see low fees, super fast transactions, and Bitcoin should be back to what it used to be. All right. So it's, you know, once that happens, but what I was saying before is the problem is these ICOs, and they bring out these news reports. They bring on these advisors. You know, hey, we've done this partnership. You know, we've all seen it, right? And the investors of ICOs, they interpret this as value added, when really it's not real value added. It's just like it's not superficial, but there's no, you know, there's no real intrinsic value. Okay, it's just, hey, you know, we signed a deal with this. Yeah, okay, you signed a deal with XYZ company or Alibaba or Samsung or NFL or whatever. Yeah, you signed a deal. But what has happened because of you signed that deal? Nothing. Nothing has happened. Because when you sign that deal, nothing's going to happen for at least another year until all the pieces are in place for that contract to work. But the interpretation is people are like, hey, you know, they just signed a deal with Alibaba, or they just signed a deal with Samsung. So then all of a sudden people invest in it when nothing has happened. So Warren Buffett said that everything will always come back to its true value. Meaning if it's inflated, if it's hyped, it'll go up and then it'll return back to its true value of what it represents, its intrinsic value in the marketplace. And so this is what's happening with ICOs. There's all this hype and everything with ICOs, and people are jumping on the bandwagon, and they're selling out in seconds. And they got Tim Draper, and they got Mark Cuban, successful people that on the advisory board or have recommended it, or, you know, it might even be like a 2-second conversation. Hey, what do you think about this ICO, Mark? Oh yeah, no, I think it's a really good idea. You know, I think it can go far. So there's his endorsement. They put it on the website, and now they're like, oh, it's endorsed by Mark Cuban. Like, he only had said a couple of words. Like, you know what I mean? So it's misinterpreted. It's misinterpreted, and then this causes people to buy, and then the value is it's not representative of the true intrinsic value. And then, like Warren Buffett said, everything will drop back to its real value over time. And that's what we're seeing with these coins that are super inflated and hyped up. It'll always drop back down. So when you think about your buying strategy into ICOs, you got to think about that. If it's hyped up, like Electronium it was, which was like you know, 120,000 make money online, people jumped onto that bandwagon. But it'll always drop down to its true value. Okay, and same with many other ICOs, not just Electronium, many other ICOs. They hype it up, the price will go up. So if you were smart, when it goes up, that's when you sell, because you know that it's just a, you know, it's not a long-term project. It's not a blockchain. It's not an infrastructure project. The team's weak. There's a whole bunch of reasons why. It's got Mark Cuban on the who endorsed it. There you go. Just as soon as he says that, I would not join an ICO. So you got to really think about your exit strategy. Do you jump into it, ride the hype, and then sell it at the top? Or these people will be like, oh no, I believe in the project, you know, it's gonna 100x, blah 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 blah. When it's just all emotion, and then newbie investors have no clue what they're doing. No, I'm gonna, you know, this is gonna make me, you know, $10 million. All I got to do is wait till it gets to $100 to $2 or $1. When the project itself, like, they don't even know why they're hodling, because everyone else is hodling. Hey, I'll hodl. They don't even know why they're hodling. You know what I mean? That's the sad thing about it. They don't even understand that it's a shit project. You know what I mean? Like, you got to know why you're doing these things. You know, that's part of it. So, in my opinion, where Bitcoin's going to go, it's all good. It's all sweet. Don't get your knickers in a knot, people. All right? Don't get your knickers in a knot. Pandora's box is already open. The governments are spreading FUD. The banking system doesn't like Bitcoin. They're trying to stamp it out. Regulations, taxes, and trying to block cryptos being turned into fiat, and then Visa. I mean, Visa are shitting themselves basically, because crypto coins, crypto in general, are a threat to the Visa economy. So it just makes sense for them not to help or aid, right? They're already $1 billion company, but mark my words, Visa, if they don't innovate, they'll be a dinosaur. They will be a dinosaur. They'll be gone, right? Because there's no need for Visa, right? What they need to do is they need to create some sort of mechanism. Either everyone just uses crypto, or so basically what will happen is, if this will be when banks are redundant, when everything that can be purchased, everything and anywhere can be purchased in crypto, and there's no need for fiat. That's when banks going to be redundant. So you can go down the road, you can go down to your supermarket, and you can buy with crypto. It will automatically change that crypto to the whatever they value it as. You know, when you see, actually, you know what? This will really be when crypto goes mainstream. And when you know that this happens, when this happens, I think is the beginning of the end for banks, right? We'll probably need them at some point in some degree, but they're going to lose so much control that they're going to be shit scared. When you go to the supermarket, or when you can go anywhere in the world, and you go to buy an item, you know, you walk into the duty free at Dubai. You go into the duty free shop, and you walk in there, and you come to the counter, and you see some nice perfume for your wife, and you go, I'm gonna buy some perfume for my wife, because you know, I want to get her a gift, you know, when I go back home. And the price tag is not in USD, it's in crypto, right? It says 0.000 whatever that is, Bitcoin, Litecoin, whatever. When you see this everywhere, that the price is in crypto, and all you need to do to buy that item is to pull out your whatever you got, device or whatever it is, and you can just go swipe. And or not even that these days. I mean, you're just going to do some freaky, you know, a Jedi mind shit, right? And then it's going to be like boom, and then all of a sudden you purchased it, right? You don't even whatever it is. It'll be some kind of Star Trek-y technology bullshit, right? That's going to be like, hey, I just bought this thing, and it's all in crypto. When the price is in crypto, that's when you will see that's when the shift will be, in my opinion. There's no fiat, there's no USD, it's all crypto, right? And that's when it's going to be the whole world. The whole world will be like, crypto's here, man. Banks, you screwed us for that long now. See you later. But that's not going to happen, obviously, for a long time. All right, so the next solution will be, hey, you know, they can buy a particular item with some type of device where we can exchange crypto on the fly to fiat. I mean, that's happening now, but it's not mass adopted. There's multiple ICOs, multiple companies that are doing it with their own cards, with their own devices. We just saw PooDX launch their ICO, and they had their own machine kind of thing, right, for retailers. But that has to go on a massive scale. That has to go all through the whole world, where it's just all fiat. It's all crypto. But that's not going to happen too soon, because everyone's trying to create the technology that's going to be the next big thing that's going to drive the whole economy. But what they should be doing is collaborating all to create a central, not a central, like a one kind of thing which will accept all the cryptos. But every company's trying to do it themselves, so then they control that instrument, right? Which then brings it away from everything that crypto is about. So anyway, so to sum it all up, guys, I don't get your knickers in a knot, don't get your panties wet, all right? Just metaphorically speaking. Okay, I don't mean that literally, you know. I don't want you to get your knickers in a knot. I don't want you to get panties wet. I mean, I don't really want to see it either, you know what I'm saying? But what I mean, right, is just chill, right? Hey, your guest, John, just chill, you know. This is Pandora's box is open. It's gonna probably take maybe another month or 2 or 3 weeks before we start seeing the recovery back. But I guarantee you this: once Bitcoin starts going back up and, you know, it starts pushing at 13, 14, people are going to be like, I don't give a shit about the news. I don't give a shit about the government. I don't care what the Indian government says. I don't care what the Russian government. I don't care what the freaking Chinese government says, or the Australian government. Bitcoin's going up, and I need a piece of it because I want to make some money. That's what the average investor, mom and pop, dude that's, you know, working at a pizza shop, or working at a he's a delivery driver, or he's a concrete cement truck driver, or he works at a pie stand or a hot dog stand. All he's thinking about is, how can I make some more money, right? And he pulls out his wallet, and then he pulls out his smartphone, and then he sees there's an app there from Coinbase, right, which I can convert fiat, and I can buy some Bitcoin, and I can hook it up to my bank account, and I can actually get a piece of this Bitcoin when it goes up, right? And you think there's probably, I don't know, 5, 10, 15 million people, 20 million, maybe 100 million people, all thinking the same thing. How can I make some more money? You know, I just want to make an extra $500 a week, you know. And I seen Bitcoin going up. I can get access to it. I can hook up my bank account to it. I can buy some Litecoin, crypto, or Ethereum, or Bitcoin, right? And I can make an extra $500, or an extra $2 grand that month, right? So I'm gonna do it. I don't give a shit I'm gonna do it because I need to make some money, because I need to get out of this shithole that I'm in, right? Because I want to get to whatever that is. I want to, you know, have a full-time job where I don't have a full-time job. I'm making full-time income, but I don't have a job. This is what they're thinking. This is the mindset of the normal, average day person. So when that Bitcoin gravy train goes back up, they're not going to give a shit. They're going to want a piece of that action, and they have the means to do it because they got a smartphone, right? They got a phone, they got a Coinbase app, and they're going to make some money because they don't like the freaking hot dogs that they even selling. They taste like shit. So this is what's going to happen. As soon as Bitcoin goes back up now, you're going to see this whoosh, a couple more $1 billion worth of money coming back into the market. Altcoin's going to go back up. This is what's going to happen, in my opinion. All right, you just have to be patient. This is the future. They can try to do this shit now to suppress it or whatever they want, but Pandora's box is open, and cryptos is the future. Even banks, okay? The Bolivian government, check this out. I saw this article today that the Bolivian government seized 234,000 Bitcoin, All right, and through illegal drug raids, what they do, drug raids, cocaine seizures. They caught drug runners. They caught drug barons, and they've amassed 234,000 Bitcoin. And there's actually an article on it. If you Google Bolivian government seizes Bitcoin, all right? This is crazy. Here it is here, all right? Adventure Beat. So they've got this Bitcoin. They've got this Bitcoin that they've seized, and if it at the price of 15,000, they would have $3.2 billion, right? This is the amount of Bitcoin that they've got just from drug raids, just from illegal activities, right? This is absolutely crazy. This is how crazy it is. Oh my God. Bitcoin seized by Bulgaria. Sorry, not Bolivia. Bulgaria's government, now worth $3 billion. How crazy is that? How crazy is that? Yeah, 200,000 Bitcoin. Oh my God. So, this governments are even holding Bitcoin, right? They say they want to ban it. They're dead against it, but they hold it themselves because they know that it's going to be worth something and it's going to go up. Yet they're telling the population that they're going to outlaw it, they're going to stamp it out, it's not legal tender, but they actually hold it themselves, right? They actually hold it themselves. So what does that tell you? They know that it's going to go up, it's going to stick around. They tell the opposite, and they do the opposite of what they're going to say. So this is what's happening. So banks, these big institutional investors, banks, they're all got crypto, guys. Hedge funds managers, these people in Wall Street, they all got crypto, guys. All of them. Trust me, they all got crypto, right? They're just waiting for it to go back up. So when it does go back up, they're going to pour billions more into it, right? They're going to pour billions. So guys, don't even worry about it. Don't even sweat it. I don't even know why people even say stupid shit like, oh, should I sell my Bitcoin? Panic sell. When's it going to go back up? I mean, when people say that sort of stuff, you just know that they have no clue what's going on. They're newbies. They have no clue. All right? So you got to be in here for the long haul. You take the dips, right? But you also take the peaks. You take the losses, you take the wins, guys. That's how it works, right? So, with that said, guys, don't get flustered, right? It's all good. It's all going to come back, right? And just have to be patient. And it's something. Patience is something that I've seen that is most people online on Facebook, they don't have patience. They simply don't have patience. They just don't have patience. They want everything to happen like that. But that's not how life works, right? So the sooner you get over the fact that you need to be patient in anything that you do, right? When you go to the gym, you don't just come out like the Michelin Man. It takes you a good 5 to 10 years of solid training, going to the gym 6 days a week before you start to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. It'd probably take you 10 years just to even look like him. So what's your thinking behind, hey, I'm going to look like him with only, a week going to the gym? It doesn't happen that way, right? It does not happen that way. You're welcome, Matthew. Just chill, man. Don't sell your shit. I'm looking at my ICO portfolio now, and I'm still in profit with many of the stuff because, you know, obviously when you're buying ICO, you're buying at the rock bottom price. So even though many of my ICOs might have gone half, they were like many ICOs have dropped half in profit. I'm still in profit, but I can look at it and go, okay, I've dropped half in profit, but I'm not going to sell them because I know when the market comes back, these are going to boom again, and then I'm going to go, oh, why did I sell? You know? So all I've got to do is hodl. That's all I've got to do, right? Just hodl, and the market will come back. There has to be a correction. When it comes back, you're going to look at your phone. You're going to look at your app, right? Which I recommend you get Delta because Blockfolio sucks, guys. It's so slow, and it doesn't even give you updated. Like, it's so slow in adding updated coins, whereas Delta is so much faster, and they've got all the updated coins. But the one thing that Blockfolio has over Delta is Blockfolio looks really cool. I love Blockfolio, okay? Because it looks cool. You know what I mean? It looks freaking cool. The display of it looks cool, right? I love that shit, see? And then you can see the profit. Look at the profit. Like, it's got this green thing though. Delta hasn't got that. Delta doesn't have that. Delta doesn't look as cool. Delta's like, that's Delta. You know, it doesn't look as cool. Right? We want to see the big ass freaking profit. Right? This is what gets you hyped up in the morning, right? You go and wake up, and then you like look at your phone like this, and your Blockfolio app, and you go, damn, that's what you do, right? It's got the big ass profit and loss, right? That's what you want to see, right there, boom, right? That's what Blockfolio's got. You go, damn. See, so that's the difference, but it's just slow and cumbersome. It's got shit updates. It doesn't sync, you know, but it's got that, bam, yeah. So anyway, with that said, you guys have a fantastic day, and we'll see you guys at the moon. Just need to maybe wait a few more weeks extra to get to the moon, but doesn't matter. We'll still get there, guys, huh? Guys and girls. So with that said, have a fantastic day.